there everybody, it's Mark Crowley. I'm back with the fourth and final installment in my series of videos showing artwork from my elementary school years. So let's go ahead and get into this first piece. Happily it has a date on it, November 18th, 1973. So that means that I was 7 years old when I did this drawing. And you know, the things that sort of jump out to me about it, the shadow here on the apple, glad to see that I was already trying to get shadows into the drawing. The structure here of the object, getting the interior and the outside, having the lines follow along as best I could. That's nice to see. Although the one mysterious thing to me is this acorn, because we can eat all these other things. Maybe that's for the pet squirrel. Gets to have the acorn at Thanksgiving. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Alright, well, sorry I'm getting this a little out of chronological order here. I see from the date that my mom wrote here, 1972, so I was 6 years old. This is actually the oldest of the ones in this video. A little birthday card that I made for my grandmother. And yeah, as you can see, at the age of 6, I was already sort of fascinated by details and sort of putting little jokes inside there. Some of the stuff hard for me to even decipher what it was that I was trying to do. Maybe I was trying to turn the Y into a telephone pole, maybe, and these are lines, and then a car crashed into the telephone pole. I don't know, slightly violent imagery here. But hopefully my grandmother enjoyed this little card. I thought some of you might get a kick out of this one, showing this cursive handwriting exercise. I did this when I was 8 years old, and it says, "Dear Mom and Dad, this is the way we write now. Please keep my papers, as you can see my writing improves. Please help me if I need it." I don't know if you can see, I underline the if, but only if I need it. Don't help me otherwise. Thanks. Mark C. Something kind of funny. The irony of me making the key mistake on the word improves. Yeah, I guess there was plenty of room for improvement. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Well, we're zooming forward quite a number of years here. This one says 1978 on it. So that means that I was 12 years old when I did this drawing. And yeah, you can see me sort of wrestling with anatomy, stuff that I'm still fighting with to this day. But yeah, I guess I can take some pride in making the effort to get the suggestion of muscles there. Again, a little bit of violence going on here. I must have had issues I needed to work out by way of my artwork. Anyway, and then don't you love the sort of classic stain that you always see on old pieces of paper? It's just like a requirement somehow. You have to set a cup of coffee down. Was I drinking coffee at the age of 12? I don't think so. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. So here you see a one-line drawing. As I recall, I got the idea from a kid's magazine that showed a drawing that had been done with just a single line. And so for a number of years I was doing these types of drawings as a challenge to myself. The line starts here, goes through all of this, and ends up stopping there in the stem of the pumpkin. Let me zoom in so you can get a closer look at it. As I said, yeah, I was really into this around the age of 13, 14. And for whatever reason I stopped doing them. Who knows, maybe I can do a new one-line drawing video or something like that. I know my dad would love to see that. He was always a big fan of these drawings. Now this one is kind of fun. It's Find the Mistakes illustration. I'm pretty sure I got this idea from a Norman Rockwell cover for the Saturday Evening Post. I think on April Fool's Day, he would make cover paintings that had, deliberately had lots and lots of errors in them, and so it's filled with things like February 30th and just odd little bizarre things. I guess the thermometer here is showing a temperature way too low, but that might just be a broken thermometer, man. Does that count as a mistake? A lot of anti-gravity errors with things floating and so forth. This one sort of makes me laugh, though, because it's Time magazine. It says, "A look back on the 80s. Well, I did this illustration in the late 70s, and so that counted as an error back then, but it would not be an error today, would it? Anyway, lots of fun to do one of these things. Of course, it only works as a puzzle if you write down the total number of errors that you're supposed to find, and unfortunately I didn't write that down, but boy, it looks like there are dozens of them. Of course, no video about my elementary school drawings would be complete without Close Encounters. I have so many drawings from that movie. Clearly captured my imagination. And interesting to me, though, that the line work on this looks quite different from these other pieces. Sort of smeary and smudgy in a way that I don't see so much in the other drawings. I wonder if I was experimenting with some other kind of technique there. But of course, Close Encounters was not the only movie that fascinated me. Star Wars also was very much on my mind in those days. Again, 1978, 12 years old when I did this one. Happy Father's Day. And what else would you want to do for your father except draw a picture of the Millennium Falcon? Again, details. You know, I showed you with that first one. You can tell from a young age I was just really kind of obsessed with details and getting as many of them packed into the drawing as I could. And of course that has stayed with me to this day when you look at Brody's Ghost and Miki Falls, other books that I've done. Periodically you can just tell that I decided to make the whole drawing pretty much about details. Speaking of details, here's another drawing that is crawling with them. Interestingly, though, I don't believe this is supposed to be Star Wars or Close Encounters or anything like that. I think it's just an imaginary sci-fi world of my own creation. And I think maybe the idea here was that they had turned an asteroid into a space station. Or perhaps built a space station to look like an asteroid from the outside. But yeah, all kinds of details. And they're not random either. I can see that like this area here looks like it's supposed to be the dormitories with lots of little doors and stuff. I was really sort of thinking through all this stuff, which is nice to see. Always sort of a narrative aspect to a lot of these drawings. You can tell that, you know, I wanted to become a storyteller as well as an artist. And finally we come to the last of the drawings. Some of you may recall Metal Ring, my superhero character that I was messing around with back in those days, and I did this sort of mashup front cover with Green Lantern. And as you zoom in you can see Metal Ring saying, "Green Lantern, what are you doing in my comic book?" Crack! So, I don't know, I was having my hero be the loser versus someone else's hero. I don't know, maybe I had self-esteem issues back then or something. Note the little detail of the barcode there, and just again, me trying to go for anatomical lessons, struggling to get all that stuff right. And sadly, that brings us to the end of not just this video, but the whole series of elementary school drawing themed videos. But this is not the end of these kinds of video, because I've got plenty of other drawings from different periods of my life, high school, college, and beyond. So I'll definitely be doing more such videos in the months and years ahead. But let's go ahead and wind this one down. I really want to thank you for watching this whole series of videos and for watching this one in particular. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with another one real soon.